Hello guys, welcome back to another video. The beat 'em up genre was one of the most popular gaming genres in the 1990s. I was especially a big fan. There were two main competing franchises, Sega's Streets of Rage and Capcom's Final Fight. Both are excellent in their own right, but I always had a preference for Streets of Rage, having grown up with it. Like the last game I mastered with RetroAchievements, Streets of Rage was part of the 6-pack compilation cartridge. Like I said in the previous video, this cart got a ton of play. A peaceful and prosperous city has fallen into the hands of a criminal syndicate headed by a dude named Mr. X. Is that a code name? Sorry, wrong picture. This guy. 3 police officers who are sick of the crime decide to take the law into their own hands. They are Axel Stone, Adam Hunter, and Blaze Fielding. I guess even cops want to be this guy. There are 8 different levels to progress through, each one culminating in a boss fight, with the exception of level 7. Streets of Rage was published and developed by Sega. It was released for the Sega Genesis in 1991. It also has a killer soundtrack. Thanks to the RetroAchievements website, we can now unlock achievements and show off a little gaming prowess. This game has 53 achievements in the set. I'll be streaming this game live on Twitch. We'll break this video down by day. Let's get started, clean up the streets, and restore order to this wonderful city. As we get started on our first day to clean up the streets, I start my first game as Adam, playing on normal difficulty. Now, we have a lot of achievements that pop in our first run. Let's go over them. I reached a score of over 10,000 points and claimed my first achievement. I then proceed to destroy 6 telephone booths. I make it to the end of round 1 and take on the first thug with a giant boomerang. I take him out for 3 more achievements. 1 for beating the level, 1 for beating the level without calling the cops, and 1 for beating the level without dying. As I start round 2, I call the cops when no one is around. I kill 50 enemies without using a weapon. I attack 20 enemies in a row without taking damage. I found an extra life on the streets. Attacked 20 enemies using Adam's jump kick attack. Finally, we make our way to the end of round 2 and fight another thug who fights with Wolverine type claws.
You were just leaving.
This time, the thug has help, so it's a little harder to take him down. It is best to try and get close to him, grab him, knee him a couple of times, and then throw him. I take him down and get 3 more Chivos. 1 for beating the level, 1 for beating the level without dying, and 1 for breaking 100,000 points on my point total. In round 3, I kill 30 enemies with a weapon in hand and get an achievement for it. I make my way to the end of the beach level and face the next boss, a wrestler. He likes to charge at you, and if he hits you, he does major damage. It is best to move up and down, trying to dodge him and then grab him. Hit him a couple of times and then throw him. Easier said than done though, as there is another common thug trying to attack you. I end up losing a life, but I still take him down. I get the next achievement for beating the level. In round 4, I threw an enemy into a pit and got an achievement for it. This next boss I have to face at the end of the round is an obese, bald guy who propels himself across the stage, blowing fire out of his mouth. He is hard to dodge as Adam because he walks so slow. The trick is to try and get behind him and stun lock him by punching him. Don't try and throw him, because you can't. He managed to kill me twice, so I don't get the Deathless achievement. However, I still get the achievement for clearing the level. Round 5 takes place on a ship. A little over halfway in the round, I collect a police car item, which gives us another opportunity to call the police. I make my way to the end of the round and have to face two female fighters, Mona and Lisa. They look and fight just like Blaze. They are not easy to take down. The goal is to try and grab one, knee her a couple of times, and throw her while dodging the other. I managed to take them down, but not before losing a life. I get an achievement for beating the level, and one for breaking 300,000 points. In round 6, I crush an enemy using the crusher and get a Chivo for it. I make my way to the end of the level and the boss from round 2 returns. This time, he has a friend.
Excellent!
I managed to take them down, but not before losing a few lives. I beat round 6 and got the achievement for doing so. In round 7, we ride an elevator. I quickly throw a thug off and get an achievement for it. There are no bosses in this round, so I quickly finish taking out the rest of the thugs and get an achievement for clearing the round. The 8th and final round takes place in a hotel lobby. This level is essentially a boss rush level, as all previous bosses from earlier in the game return. I fight common thugs in between boss fights. I break 8 tables and get an achievement for it. I make my way to the big boy full of hot air, and he almost takes all my lives. I'm only 200 points away from breaking 500,000 points and getting the final points achievement. Thankfully, I hang on, take him out, and claim it. I make my way to the final boss in the game, Mr. X. This is by far the toughest boss in the game. He walks back and forth around the room pretty quickly, stopping to shoot with his gun. I managed to keep jump kicking him with Adam and avoid the other 2 thugs who are hanging around. I actually beat him without dying and got the achievement for it. I also got 2 more achievements, one for beating the game and one for beating the game as Adam. One lap through the game and we got 29 achievements. I quickly start a new game, picking Axel this time. In round 1, a thug grabs me from behind. I then throw him and get a Chivo for it. I attack enemies 20 times with Axel's backwards fist smash attack and get another Chivo. I also managed to attack 20 enemies with Axel's flying knee attack. Making my way to the end of round 3, I was able to clear it this time without dying. I then make my way to the end of round 4, clear it without dying, and claim another Chivo. At the end of round 6, I managed to take down one of the bosses, giving me over 350,000 points, and earning an extra life, giving me a total of 9 lives. I unlocked the Streets of Cats achievement for doing so. I also cleared the stage without dying. Finally, I pay Mr. X another visit, take him down, and get an achievement for beating the game as Axel. Now I have one more character to play through with, Blaze. In round 1, I use Blaze's overhead throw on 20 enemies and get a Chivo. I then use Blaze's backdrop attack on 20 enemies in round 2 and get another Chivo. I make my way back to the end of round 5 and face my twin sisters. I managed to take both down by grabbing both at the same time somehow and got 2 achievements. One for beating Mona and Lisa without dying, and one for beating the whole round without dying. Back on the elevator in round 7, I managed to clear all the thugs out without losing a single life, but only barely. I pay Mr. X one final visit for the day, beat him, and get the achievement for beating the game as Blaze. Day 1 is in the books, and we got 43 out of 53 total achievements in this set. All the easy ones are pretty much out of the way. Now it is time to grind. On to day 2. As we start day 2 off, We have 10 achievements left, 9 of which pertain to playing on the hardest difficulty. So, with that in mind, I set the difficulty to hardest, pick Axel as my character, and start a new game. Round 1 goes fairly smoothly, although I almost lose a life to Antonio. Round 2 is also pretty simple. I call the cops to help me take down Souther, the dude with the claws. My trip to the beach is also pretty easy. I do have an issue with the wrestler boss at the end of the round though, and lose my first life. Damn thugs. In round 4, things start to get tough. I managed to make it to the final boss, Bongo, the big boy. Unfortunately, he takes one of my lives before I beat him. Now, round 5 might be the toughest level in the game. There are a ton of enemies and you can get overwhelmed quickly. I need to unlock 2 achievements here. One for simply beating the level, and one for finishing without calling the cops. It was because of this simple limitation that I lost 7 lives. I did manage to finish the round though, and got the 2 achievements I was looking for. Round 6 is much easier, although I do manage to lose a life. I actually took down the 2 bosses at the end without much trouble. Now, the final hardest mode achievement is in round 8. For the most part, this level is pretty simple. It is only the end of the level that is really hard. I managed to lose 2 lives against the twins. But, the big challenge is Mr. X. This guy moves so fast, not to mention the 2 thugs hanging around interrupting my attacks. I do manage to eventually beat him though on my last continue. Wow, that achievement for clearing hardest without continuing is going to be really tough. I got the achievement for clearing round 8. I was finished with hardest for now. With 2 achievements left, the focus is now on trying to beat round 8 without dying. Thankfully, I can use the level select code. I need help from my brother though. He had to hold down A, B, C, and right on the D-pad while I access the options menu. I can then select the round I want to start on. For the next 2 hours of stream, I tried multiple times. I could make it to the end of the round against the twins, but that is where a lot of attempts failed. I tried playing as Adam, I tried playing as Axel, and I tried playing as Blaze with the same results. Finally, I was too tired to try anymore and I called it for the day. We got 8 achievements and I'm fine with that. We got 2 achievements left. We're almost there. On to day 3. As we start the final day, we have 2 achievements left. We have to finish round 8 without losing a life. Thankfully, we can play on the normal difficulty, and we have to beat the entire game on the hardest difficulty without using a continue. I have a confession to make. This particular achievement right here took me 2 streams to do, with a total of nearly 6 hours worth of attempts. Let's just pretend one day was lost at sea. On a serious note, let's break down why this achievement is so hard to get. To start off, I pick Adam because his jump kick is the best weapon against Mr. X. Most of the round is pretty easy, until you get to Bongo. The big guy with bad breath is a tough fight for Adam, primarily because he walks so slow. Thankfully, there is a pepper shaker nearby. Grab the pepper shaker, make Bongo sneeze, and then stun lock him by punching him. Easy. Now, it gets difficult from here. There is only 1 beef left, a health item that fills your health bar completely. So, this is what you want to do. Take out the 2 women with whips, watching out for the table coming across the room. Then, you want to isolate and take out this clown, stun locking them with punches. Finally, take out these 3 ninjas, stun locking them with punches. Once they are finished, collect your health. It is time to play flawlessly. We have 2 more ninjas to take down, a guy in purple who likes to throw you, and 2 thugs in red. After you take them down, it is time for the fight with the twins. After much practice, I found that Adam's jump attack is pretty effective against them. You just have to watch out for one of the women who is jumping around trying to grab you. If she grabs you from the front, no problem, because you can land on your feet, dealing no damage. If she grabs you from behind, you're screwed as she suplexes you and does a ton of damage. You also have to race the clock. If you manage to do that and keep your life, you finally get to fight Mr. X. Before the fight starts, he sends 2 pairs of thugs after you. After you take them out, he proceeds to get out of his chair. Grab him as he stands up, knee him a couple of times, and throw him. You're going to want to remain on the top portion of the room and jump kick him when you get the opportunity to. This is easier said than done though, as there are 2 thugs roaming around trying to attack you. After a bunch of attempts, I finally did it. Just look at my live reaction. Did I do it? Oh, please let me. Did I do it? Oh my god. I did it! Here are you! Yes! Oh. That was so close.
Don't mess with the Cajun.
Yeah. I'm gonna shake a little bit inside.
Easy win.
I don't know about that. I finally did it. It was over. Now on to the final achievement, beating the game on hardest without continuing. This achievement was easier, but I wouldn't say it was easy, if you know what I mean. I set the difficulty to hardest and picked Adam as my character. The first 3 rounds are fairly simple. I lose a life here and there, but nothing too bad. Your first real challenge is at the end of round 4. The goal is to try and call the cops as Bongo gets close to you. Then try and get up to him and stun lock him. Easier said than done, as there is a thug hanging out. You'll be lucky if you make it out, only losing 1 life. Round 5 might be the toughest stage in the game. There are a ton of enemies and you can get overwhelmed pretty easily. Don't be afraid to call the cops when in trouble, otherwise you'll die quickly. Round 7 on the elevator is tricky, as there are no health item pickups. I actually died 3 times on this round, leaving me with only 3 lives for round 8. Thankfully, round 8 is pretty easy for the most part, as I had a ton of practice at it. The fight with Mr. X was pretty close. I only had 3 lives to work with and very little health. Thankfully, I was able to take him down with 1 life and little health remaining. This was my second attempt. Not too shabby. I beat the game without continuing, got the final achievement, and mastered the game. So, what did I think of this set? For the most part, it was pretty easy. There were only a couple really challenging achievements to obtain, but nothing unfair. I loved this game as a kid, and my brother and I played a ton of it together. So, I have fond memories. It is still my favorite in the original trilogy. I would recommend it to anyone who loves beat 'em ups. If you enjoyed this video and would like to support me, please consider dropping a like, subscribing to the channel, or leaving a comment on the video. It would be greatly appreciated. What game shall we tackle next? That is the question. Well, thanks for watching, God bless, and have a wonderful day.